Alright, I'm going to walk you through the rest of the yard. It's not as messy as down here near the house. Again, next year that'll be in place and it won't look as bad. But maples don't look bad, do they? Not really. I think I showed this, but I just saw it again as I was walking out here. The Nabashidari kind of glowing there. Summer gold here, already gone. That powdery mildew really bad this year. Just some I've got down here to plant. This is a truncatum flower god. For this one's Mimaye, Mimaye, I think it is. It's super pretty in the spring and the summer. It's almost yellow. Starting to go, but it's going to get hit. I may put that one in the garage for a couple days. See if I can get more color out of it after the freeze. Alright, so I already missed the perfect time to show you this one, but we'll do it anyway. Winter Flame. Winter Flame is one of my favorites for fall. It's pretty in the spring. It's that green, chartreuse green on it. I don't really have a lot of bark color showing, but it's super pretty. Again, you can kind of see some remnants of what it looked like. And then I love when this happens. You get yellows and reds and oranges all one section of leaves. But yeah, this one's past peak, way past peak. Right below me is a fireball that's struggling. Some hostas. I don't know what happened to this fireball. I had to cut a lot out. It's got a lot of dead on it. Let's see what happens in the spring. It's a really pretty one. It was really pretty this spring, and this kind of gave up a little bit of the ghost there, I guess. There is Snow Cloud. Bought that 3 years ago, and it hasn't grown. It's just sitting there. I'm going to dig it up and put it in a pot. And then right here, and I'm going to walk around this one. Grandma Ghost. One of my favorites. Big old Grandma Ghost. Probably 8 feet wide. Lived in a pot for most of its life. I planted it maybe 3 years ago. Maybe 4. 4 sounds right. Get a little closer on this one. And I don't prune it. I'm sorry, I don't prune it much. I also don't stake it. I just let this one go wherever it wants to. That's kind of wild. But look at that red. Wow, pretty. And we'll come around. Big cedar tree here. Then we've got Red Dawn. Red Dawn's hard to beat for the fall. It's probably the prettiest red I've seen for a red one. Sitting here ready to be planted somewhere is a green cascade, and it's trying to get some color a little bit. I love the green cascade. Of course, I love japonicum, so another look back down through there at Grandma Ghost. Here's a ukigumo. I just planted this maybe 2 weeks ago. I never had one of these, so we'll see what happens. A couple of rhododendrons here. This one's waiting to be planted. Another great one here, Funkill. Funkill it's grown. I know it's a smaller one, but it's grown like a weed. This was a really small 1 gallon in 2022. And it's now, it's pushing 5.5 feet tall probably. Got that strap leaf on it. Very pretty. This one right next to it, big guy. And look at the trunk on that one. Big caliper on that. This is Alpenweiss. Alpenweiss has reverted, so pretty much it's a green maple. I know that I've read that alpenweiss doesn't revert, but mine did. Sometimes on the tips, I'll get a little bit, but there's nothing. Nothing down here now. And it hasn't been for all summer. Walk over here real quick, and you can start seeing Hogyoku. Hogyoku, however you want to say it. Beautiful, older cultivar. Everybody should have this one if you like peaches and oranges and yellows. Kind of a pumpkin-y color, but you can also almost get just some red. I mean, that's quite red. Orange, I guess. Not red. But I'll step back a little bit so I can get this one. This one we dug up middle of July when we sold our other house and moved here. Struggled for 2 years, I mean, but it's finally taken off now. So that was in 2019. The last couple of years it's done pretty good. And you can see just the mass, the caliper on this one is massive too. Lots of seeds I didn't get off of here. This is a must-have. This one could go in a lot of sun too, at least for me. This one's on quite a bit of shade. Got a couple of big river birches sitting here and here. They give me a lot of shade. Looking Bloodgood and a Fire Glow competing to see who gets to win that spot. I think Bloodgood's ahead. And look back there again. Ignore the pot and the stuff I've been working with. Look at that. Red Dawn. You can't beat it for red. People say Ozakazuki for red in the fall. Nope. Get your Red Dawn. Actually get both because they're really nice. Both of them. This is our waterfall area. I'll walk you down. Beautiful burning bush. I know they're invasive, some people say. They were here when we moved in, so it's staying. Too pretty to get rid of. Dogwood there, just a normal eastern dogwood. Red dragon. We planted this before the water feature was here, but now there's a water feature. We go down through there with a little waterfall that we had a friend install. And we can look on our screen porch and look right out and see the waterfall. Well, let's see what we got here. We have a lot of pagodas. Too many. Not really. That's the remnants of American. Just planted maybe 2 months ago there. Just some real conifers. Here's a cool one. Tanama I know I'm probably butchering that name. This one's gets maybe 4 hours of sun. Around here I wouldn't want it to get any more. It's got a little bit. It's recently planted. Got a little bit of the white tips on it, as you can see. I think that translates loosely or maybe completely, not loosely. Snow in the valley. Hinokis. Karen and I both love Hinoki cypresses. So, over there is a couple. There's a Dragon Master that's got the stakes, and then there is a Golden Falls. Again, those two are competing. Dragon Master's going to stay there. I'm going to move the Golden Falls, but they look the worst of any maple. They have so much powdery mildew right now. Excuse me. Mini twist. If you don't have a mini twist, boy howdy, get you a mini twist. This thing was a 1 gallon back in 2020 or 2021. And look at the size of that caliper on that. And it's the whole thing. Just massive. Of course, Eastern White Pine. We're in East Tennessee. They do well here. Look at this little guy. Oh, come on. What's going on here? There we go. Kunaijishi? Small one of that. Of course, I don't want anything big right here. It's right up the stairs. So even in 10 years, that won't be too big. Another look real quick at the Hogyoku. And down through there with the alpenweiss, the Funkill, the winter flame, the azaleas and rhododendrons and grandma ghost and all kinds of things just sitting around, all pretty things. This is a cool one. Sparkling arrow. It has grown very little. I would say 3 inches a year for us. But it likes it here. It's in a weird spot and we're not moving it. My wife put it here and I can't complain. Look how pretty that is. Alright, let's walk down here. These azaleas are really pretty in the spring. I'll try to get those if I do more videos. You can see they're blooming just a little bit right now. Hummingbird feeder needs to come down, but that is an eastern white pine. No way, that's the Japanese white pine. Let's see, Cleary. I've got a couple of those. Actually, I got got 3 of them at least. That's a good one. It grows well here. Really pretty blue needles. And the yellow needles you're seeing are just the interior needles dropping, shedding a little bit. There's the water. There's some kind of juniper that I have no clue. Lost the tag. The most prickliest plant I have, and I have to get in there and prune it. And it looks really well where it's at. It's getting too big for there. But the worst part is the needles. The needles are just terrible. Tamukiyama. If I get my camera here to adjust. There we go. Right next to the waterfall. Now, here's the story with the Tamukiyama. I've collected maples on and off since probably 2012. Maybe even a little earlier. But I didn't know much about them. We got this one in 2020 probably. I know it's too big for there. But we keep it pruned back and we're trying to decide if we want to dig it up and move it and put something smaller there. But it looks beautiful there. It's just going to be too big for the area eventually. I would just kind of stay here for a minute. What if I go to that needs a little paint job on it or something? Here's my Chi-Chi. And then you have in front of that a barberry. Right off the top of my head, I can't think of the cultivar of that one. Not Orange Rocket, it's one of the other ones. Now I'm blanking on the plant behind that one. Still pretty in the spring. It's just a false holly. Couple little bamboos I'm working on. I like this one a lot. It needs some trimming. And then there's a Dawn redwood that I'm going to start working on next year. Okay, we'll go here to the right. Real pretty azalea right now. Well, it was real pretty. Still got pretty colors. We have Gray Guardian. That's quite blue. And it's eating up that space. That thing was so small last year. It's tiny, and now it's eating up the whole space. And then I have the Gray Guardian. I've got the Gold Drift next to it. Growing slow, but growing. Another arborvitae there. I forget what those are called. The cultivar on that. I know right here, if I come over here just a second, I've got tater tot. And my wife's got tater tot. She likes that one. Right next to the ginkgo. One of the forsythias that bloom profusely in the spring there. Not the time for it to look good. A lot of creeping jenny. Hortzman, Atlas cedar. There's a nandina that the people that owned the place had. I'm not a big fan of nandinas. I just don't care for them. There's an orange yellow that's lost all its leaves already right there. And then behind there, that really tall one, is Twombly's Red Sentinel. And all of those shoots, I did not fertilize this thing. All of those shoots have grown. One of them is over 4 foot tall, almost 5 foot tall. I don't know, it must like it there or something. And then more burning bushes. We're going to figure out something to hide that HVAC unit. This whole garden here was just planted last year. You can see that tree was taken down in 23. It was Deodar cedar. It was leaning towards the house. It's a beautiful tree, but it was making a mess on our roof, and it was leaning over the house. So we had to take it down. But I'm kind of glad we did now. Got all this in here. A lot of these things I'd have to get the tags out and actually look at to be able to remember what we bought. I'll just show you another little... Whew, look at this. If you don't have ginkgos, what are you waiting for? Because they grow slow, most of them. Get them now. Slender false enoki. This one's really cool. Again, that's typical. It just kind of browns up on the interior needle. I never worry too much as long as the browning happens inside. I'll drop that. I can kind of get rid of that with my hand. This is a pretty tree. And it stays very narrow. Right there, bald cypress, weeping bald cypress. Super weird. Bloodgood. I mean, this thing is massive if you look at the trunk. Had it forever, had it in a pot for the longest time. Look at the caliper on that. But it just grows so weird. And of course, it's got some powdery mildew this time of year. I try to spray the ones that I can get to. I mean, a bigger tree like that takes a lot of spray, so I just let it go. Smaller ones I try to spray. There's an orange rocket. Just planted that. Let's see. What do we got over here? Oh, just a blue globes, blue spruce globosa. What is that one? Is that whipcord? That's my wife. She really likes that one. I'm not the biggest fan, but it's kind of cute. That one's struggling. That is Bailey's Upright, I think that's what that's called. Big fire glow, or not big, but one day. Has aspirations. Let's see. Turn here. Don't look at the chair overturned. I should have picked that up, but I didn't. Wildfire right there. Super pretty bark on the wildfire. You can see in there. See that bark? And it's going to get brighter as the winter keeps coming. Trying to take that one the way I want it to grow. There's a Shana. There's again, forget. I've got so many little plants. There's a little mugo pine. I think I had one of those out in the front. A little, I think that's a Japanese red pine. Rata. I don't know if it'll do well here or not. Let's come over here. Get a different view. Get you a nice view of the HVAC. But you can see the Ryusen doesn't know what season it is. The bottom part says, hey, I'm going to sleep. Top part's ready to party. So hopefully the freeze doesn't kill that new growth. It's been on there a while, so it's getting pretty hard. Should be hardening off. This is, man, I wish I still had the tag on. This is a spruce that gets yellow tips in the spring. I cannot, Gabriella's or something like that. A little, I forget, what are these called? I'm going to have to do better if I do videos here telling you what I've got. Black lace. Again, putting out late season growth. Come on, get with it. It's a smaller one. I know this one grows a little slower, but it's beautiful. Typically, it got a little burnt here. This is the first year in the ground all summer. Then this one gets all day sun, so it got a little burnt. Fill in blue, cedar. Lowe's clearance item right there. Forget what that is. These are some kind of berry bush, like honeyberries, I think. Okay. That's a, I'm not even gonna try. This is some kind of, I think this is some kind of arborvitae. Not Forever Goldie. Forget what that one's called. Magasanago. Whoop, come on back. Magasanago there at the end. I can't wait till that one to get big. And then over here, I planted this area up recently. Got to get it mulched. Got some older azaleas that were here. There's a mugo pine. Another azalea here, and that big burning bush here. That big burning bush is quite tall. So it gives me a lot of shade for amber ghost to sit over here. Moonrise. There's a Hups dwarf right in front of that stump. And then there is a Jordan right there behind the azalea. I think that'll look good. I think. I don't really know. Those are all those trees. Oh goodness. I'm using a gimbal. This thing is weird. Pawpaw trees. If you don't know what a pawpaw tree is, look them up. Super good little fruit. Native to the Appalachian region here. Super tasty though. Kind of like a banana mango. I almost said a bango. Let's see. First flame that I got super cheap from a local nursery that has some cosmetic issues going on, but the buds, I mean, this was a 7-gallon I got for $60. The buds are all healthy, so I'm gonna be good. I love this one. Always wanted one and found one super cheap. It's even better. Princeton Century Ginkgo that's already gone, and then you can see the person that owned this house before us has this here. Please don't put this on me. This is a very expensive windmill that's used for pumping water. We don't use it for that. I would like to get rid of it. If anybody sees this, wants to buy this cheap, can take it down. And there you go. Look them up. There's tens of thousands of dollars. Over there, that big bush. You see outside the fence, you see a sugar maple. I stole from a ditch. And then there's a couple fig trees here. The bigger one produced pretty good this year. And then a new Cereus from Mr. Maple last year that I kept trying to figure out where to put it. Finally found me a place. I'll show you my big Cereus. Again from Mr. Maple. This one should do really well here. These do so well. They're tanks of trees. And walking over here, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Oh, this is a new bed. We're gonna make it a little bigger. I've crowded it up. Another pagoda off of Marketplace. That's a Louis Eastern White Pine. It gets yellow in the winter, and you can start seeing the yellow tips on it. You can also see it shed a lot of needles this year. Let's see. There, you can see some of that yellow coming as it gets colder to get more. Winter orange. You can see the main part of the tree, and then that stalk. That is all new growth this year. So probably at least close to 3 foot of growth. Let's see, a sea urchin. Got a couple of these. That is Kiyohime. And then after seeing the Gray Guardian, how big it's getting, this is a gray owl. And I'm worried about it being too big for in here. But you can always move plants. Lionheart's been asleep for a while. Really nice structure on this one. Alright, let's keep going. Over here to the other bed. Star of the show is the shishi. Quite large shishi. Probably, I mean, at the back part there, it's bigger than me, and I'm 6 foot tall. Close to it. But you can see, let's get a close-up of this one. And I'm going to do some videos just showcasing these trees. But look at that. How could you not want one of these in your garden? If you only have one Japanese maple, that's not a red, this would be my pick. Even over Makawa Yatsubusa. They're both great trees. I love the branching on this. I love the tiny little curly leaves. And then I like the green bark that you get. And that one's quite pretty. Back behind there, and I'll walk by it, that's a autumn moon. Yeah, let's see, we got a red tree dogwood here, hydrangea there. There is dancing peacock number 2, smaller one, newer. Nice little mugo pine here that was no-name cultivar mugo pine. Had it for like, I mean, it's quite large. I don't know if I really shows the scale. Like $30. It'll probably get too big for there. And then here doesn't look good right now, but oh shoot, Rhode Island red. This big guy here, why it's going to get in the way probably. Another sugar maple. Let's see, let's walk this way. Celebration, looking terrible. Just a little boxwood my wife likes there. There's another query. And then right here, star of the show this year, man, this thing took off. It was a tiny little plant. And it doesn't show up good on the video, but it's Oregon Sunset. And it's starting to get some of that reddish orange in it. It's going to get hit pretty good. Walk back through here. Now this one did well until the mildew took it. Orange Dream. You can barely see. You can see a little bit of the new growth on it there. Some new leaf showing on the Orange Dream. It's one of my favorites. I like the yellows and oranges. You can't see this one probably, but there's a peaches and cream. Hopefully look pretty in the spring. Rhododendrons that we've got. Benny Hoshi with some nice vines growing under it. Got to get rid of the weeds here. This one, again, powdery mildew, but this is kind of typical color for fall for me. And this one's got a cool, what is it called, Nabari? This one's getting dug up and put in a pot. Sometimes I'll put them in the ground, let them get a little size, and then I'll dig them up. Put them in a pot, because this one's beautiful in the spring, and it's pretty in the fall. Pretty little leaves on it. Emmett's Pumpkin. Not living up to its name, because those leaves came after it dropped its original. You can see the original one down there. So hopefully next year it'll catch on. It may get a little too much sun right here. Fairy hair and some fencing. Get a closer up of that fairy hair, because that's a cool one. Look at that fairy hair. I don't know if it'll live here in this zone. I know it can be a finicky one, but if you've ever seen the one at Buckholtz nursery, you're going to want one even if it dies on you. You might want two. Elderberry that I had for the longest time was pretty much dead. I mean, it was a little, 3 or 4 inch shoot at the bottom of that. That is all grown this year. All this, that's everything. All this year. And to me, it kind of looks, from a distance especially, kind of Japanese mapley. So I put it there. What's this one? Oh, green penguin. Cool one. Got a little dead in there, but that'll clear up. Remember, I'm looking for dead on the exterior needles. Let's see what we got out here. Nothing going to show up. We got a nice blackberry patch here to clean up, because that's going to be probably 5 to 7 trees there that I can plant. And then right there, Japanese sunrise. There is a Sangu Kaku. There is just a red. I don't even know if it's a red maple. It's just a seedling. Another seedling right here. It's a red Japanese maple. Not a cultivar though. It's got great structure to it already, but it's pretty much gone. Here, another plain Acer, plain Jane that's starting to look really pretty, and the weather's going to take it here Monday. But this one, cool Nabari on that one too. All right, I'm gonna pause this and go to another area. Actually, I just decided to unpause it and get a shot from here, because this is going to be pretty in the spring. This was all, I would tell Karen this is my favorite view. It's pretty in the fall, but in the spring it just, I don't know, maybe it's because you're ready for things to glow in the spring. Look at that. Now, the chair kind of takes away from the shot, but, at least I'm not showing you dog poop. Alright, let's go around here. Oh, that redbud there that's near that chair is flamethrower. And then there's another redbud right behind it called Hearts of Gold. That's my Neil Young tree. A big piece of it broke off. Actually, it looks better now that it has. I should have trimmed it a little bit. But I call it the Neil Young tree because, well, you know why. Oh, I did my behind, or I guess in front of our granddaughter's swing set here. That's not quite where it's going to be, a little bit further that way. So it'll be a little further away from this tree. But this is my second Katsura that looks completely different than the first Katsura. This one's in more sun. This one gets a good bit of sun probably till at least noon, maybe a little longer. The other one's a little more yellow. This one is more, got a lot more red and burgundies in it. Look at that though. I love Katsuras. The only problem with Katsuras is they come out too early. I can't tell you the number of times that, I mean, I've had that bigger one that was on the first section of the video. I've had that for, I think 2014, since 2014. It's probably gotten frostbit 3 or 4 times before I decided to keep hauling it in every time they call for frost. So I kept it in a pot. Autumn Moon, getting some color. This one just struggles for me. Had it in too much sun. I think we finally got in a spot that it likes. But if you look down here, it's got a really super big, I've had it a while. It's not done great for me yet. You know, but look at the color you get in that. And that's not, I've seen some that's way prettier than that. Ordona Nasiki. Hopefully I'm getting that close. This is the first time I've ever gotten any good color out of it. This tree is probably, if I stretched it out, 8 foot tall. 1 gallon from Mr. Maple back in 2022. This thing grows like a weed. And I've trimmed it last year. I'm going to prune it again this year. You get better variegation. I didn't believe that until I did it. But this spring, it was spring into summer, it was beautiful. Whites and pinks and greens, and oh, so pretty. But the fall color is not terrible. This is where we have a lot of hostas and different plants that do well in the shade. This is quite shady because there is you'll have to see the mess that we're building something. Big river birch there. Back there, the green one, Abigail Rose that reverted. Back there on the fence kind of is an arborvitae, but also a Pacific Fire. Does terrible for me. Murasaki Kiyohime. Plants to plant. Plants to plant. Plants to plant. Manu no Soto. I'm going to try to keep a little more upright. Quite a few azaleas back in here. Let's see. Whoop, about fell. Native azaleas. This one turns bright orange when it blooms. Super bright. Firecracker that I could put out in more sun, but I kind of like the shade it gets here. It gets a green, purpley green. So I'm gonna leave it. It's a newer one, younger one. What is this? This is super cool. I stepped on a tag. Oh, let's see. Fugis Dolabrata Variegata. It's got to get in the ground. Lots of ferns. Oh, let me get out of the sunlight. It's gonna really look terrible. Let's get it turned around here, guys. Oh, second shishi, and this one on fire. Wow, this one. Again, if you don't have a shishi, why don't you? If you don't have room, get one and put in a pot. I mean, this is what we get pretty much every year. Problem is that sometimes you don't get to keep them as long as you want because of the frost or freeze or whatever happens. This is when this one shows off though. Super, super pretty. Yeah. Peve starfish that didn't starfish too much this year. I don't know what happened. Didn't fertilize it. It could be that it's getting too much shade in here, so I'm gonna have to move it. But it's really pretty. It grew quite a bit, so hopefully, I've heard it doesn't revert. So hopefully it'll come out in the starfish next year. Still pretty. Dark Ghost here in front. That's kind of lost most of its leaves. or they're crunchy. And then let's see what else we got. Oh, there you get to see the start of this bed. My Muppet Monzakushi. Look at that thing. I never staked it. Grew in a pot for years. Bought it at a flea market beside the road. Got that in the Villa Toronto and a green Cascade, not the one you guys saw, and something else. Oh, they're like $50. They're like 10-gallon plants. And they were pretty sizable. I mean, compared to a 1-gallon. Well, yeah, I said it was 10-gallon, right? But for $50. Super, super gorgeous tree. This is consistent, this color. You're looking for something, you like the older cultivars that are mentioned long ago, and you want a red, get one of these. It is a tank of a tree too. You could stake it, make it more of an upright, but I kind of like to let trees be trees and do what they want to, as long as they're not harming themselves. No self-harm allowed. And you can see when the Bronze Age, which is right next to it, it looks pretty and it's gorgeous here, but powdery mildew or something got this one for the most part. It's still got some of that pretty yellow and orange coming through on the leaves. This is one of my favorites, Bronze Age. Again, let's see, so 2021, tiny, seriously, 1 gallon for Mr. Maple. It's 6 foot tall now. So yes, Japanese maples grow slow, but if you get them in the ground, you can get them to grow a little faster. And that's really not even some of the best growth on maples I've got. Asta's looking cool even though they're going away. Lemon lime lace there that's pretty much done. This is kind of the coloring that I see on it. Typical. Yeah, a lot of the trees are Mr. Maple. And then a lot of other places too now. Never had really a bad buying experience from anybody. A Mellow Yellow. I think this is a maple stone introduction. Seedling maybe from orange green. I got it because I like the yellow in the spring. And then look at the fall color. Look at that leaf. Reds and greens and yellows. And then come over here. Come over here and look at this one. Look at this leaf right here. These leaves right here. Green to red. I mean, it's just this one may be one of my favorites. If it does this every year. I know I love the yellow in the spring, but geez Louise, the fall color. I didn't know. Look at that. Here's an old one. Not an old tree for me, old cultivar. Suma Beni. It's not. You can see it's starting to go for its fall colors, but it just kind of sits back here. I think I bought this as a liner off of eBay, and the dogs broke it, so I had to stake it because you can see where the. Let's get over here. You can see where it was broken. Right there, it's kind of healed over now. And it's growing kind of weird, so I just put a stake in the ground and pulling it back because it was laying pretty much down like that. Let's see what else we got, and then let's get another look at this one. I don't mean for the video to be so long, but look at that. Glows here. And now in the summer, this is a lot of shade. So, but wow. Okay. Let's see what we got over here. These guys are kind of done. Oh, some more. Look at Bronze Age in there. Typical what I get right there. You know, but you can see sooty black stuff on it, and then there's powdery mildew. So you just don't get perfect colors every year. But some of the trees just, and that one's a larger tree, so maybe it's just more resistant to things. It does so well for me. Let's see. Kodo no Ito, gone pretty much. Pretty when it's in. You can get that orangey yellow. butterfly. Looks terrible right now. I've had good success growing it here. It's mostly shaded right here. But look how bad I didn't know it was this bad. And you can still see the variegation, but it's got that stuff all over it. And I didn't take the time. I've been busy and I didn't spray this one enough to keep that on. It kind of looks cool though. But it's barely turning. Starting to get a little oranges in there. There's that garden. We have almost 2 acres here, but of course we got a house. We got my mom's house on one of those. In that 2 acres, so 2 houses and a pool and a barn. But plenty enough room for trees. Let's see here. Oh, here's one of my favorite trees. I love dawn redwoods. Look at the color you get in the fall. I'll spin around here and get the height on this one. Little giant. This was sitting there in an open house back in 2022 at Mr. Maple's. Everybody was neglecting it. I've never seen a dawn redwood. I've heard of them. So we just picked her up, brought her home. I think it's supposed to get about 15 foot tall. It's probably approaching 10. Maybe a little over 10. This area is beautiful in the spring. It's daffodils and tulips, and even in fall with the zinnias, summer and fall. But everything's gone. Everything's going. Newer Atlas cedar there, blue Atlas cedar, a big one. Emperor 1 here, pretty good size Emperor 1. We've got a couple of these. Actually, I probably got 3. I got one over at Mom's. Look at that. Pretty. It's not peak. Not even close. A normal, what does that mean? Standard old red maple. But it's not standard. It's October Glory. Yep. New tree for me. Ozakazuki. And it lost its leaves because I planted it like in July. So it put out new leaves. So it's got old leaves and then it's got the new leaves. It's even got seeds that it put back out. See the seeds? Yeah, they're not going to make it. But, for red, and again, I'm not going to say that it has to be red this year. But that can't compare to, because that's burnt. That can't compare to some of the other reds in the yard. And then you're going to see, as I walk over here, before I forget, there's a hot blonde right there. And then there is a jet black behind the hot blonde. And I think it's another maple. What is that one? I cannot think of the cultivar on that one. It's just red maple. You can see how big one of the river birch is still holding on to its leaves somewhat. The other one said nope. So, messy trees, but they provide a good bit of shade. Let's see. Ignore the mess. This was a pumpkin patch that went a little haywire. We got lots of pumpkins. Heck, there's even one still left. Look at that one. Yep, I won't make it. Go ahead and pick that one. Let's see here. In case you're going wild. A lot of powdery mildew. And this one I moved this spring to this location. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Look at that. I always like seeing that. Maybe a little, I can put a little dirt around it, but I actually like that. Especially if I was in a pot. Let's go. This is a cereal. I can't even describe how big this trunk is down here. Caliper. This was a $60 tree at Mr. Maple back in 2022. It's every bit 12 foot tall. And I'll show you. You get all kinds of different variations in there. I'll show you the growth. Get over here real quick. Look at the top of the tree. Or actually all this side right here. All that's new growth. I didn't fertilize. There's some whips on here, they're over 6 foot long. I mean, it's a gorgeous tree. Last year it turned completely before it got hit. So, pretty tree. Behind me, I gotta get down here so I can see it. Ooh, sorry, I didn't take it that fast. A nice size purple ghost. Looks great through June in this location, but it gets a good little bit of sun here, so I always call it bronze ghost. But still, I mean, you still get pretty colors. Got cosmetic issues, just like me. Still pretty. Yeah, I love the colors. I always wish I could bargain for a few more days before we get a freeze, but I don't think it's going to help. Not going to happen for sure. I don't have it planted yet, and this is a mess. Needs weeded. This is where flowers grow and everything. We have projects everywhere, but that's a Mystic Jewel. Then over here, I just planted it. Wu Nishiki. I had it in the spring, and I hadn't planted it yet, but I found that one gets kind of yellowish. I thought that would look good near the purple ghost. And it seemed to be pretty good sun tolerant for me. I'm stuck, guys. The hardiest tree I have, Waterfall. This tree has been moved 3 times in July. I mean, dug up, no roots, stuck somewhere else, not watered. I didn't water it this year. You can't kill a waterfall is what I'm finding out. And I know that most people say waterfall and Virtus are the same, so. But this one is labeled as waterfall. Pretty tree. I don't think that's it. Pause this and see if I find any more. I didn't find any new ones, or any that I missed really. There's a couple, I'll show you. But the sun started shining again here on the, well, oh geez, I'm still learning this gimbal. Sun started shining for this Red Dawn. Again. You need a red. And I think Red Dawn's fairly sun tolerant. I mean, this one lives in shade. So it's spring, it's red, goes to a green, purpley green, which is real pretty even in the shade. And then mostly green. And then when the weather kicks in, it back to this. But again, that's pretty much our yard. I didn't take you out front. There's not a ton of stuff out front yet. Oh, over here is a mess at my woodshed, but I have to figure out where these go. There's a weeping hemlock, and I don't know, there's Sarah Rachel pine there. There's another Hamlet's broom maybe. The metasequoia there that's already dropped most of its needles. Tons of little evergreens here to plant. And I've planted a bunch already. Woodshed. This is a beautiful hosta bed when it's hostaing. It's already kind of going. There's my first frost is my favorite. There's the other emperor that we have. And the gate. The fence that was in the front there with the maples will carry on around this way. We've just been putting it off for whatever reason. Busy. Little liners back here. Maybe the one I'm most excited about that's doing really well as a liner. Ruby de Sofia. What's that one? That's Uzanishki. What's this one? Cherry's Jubilee. That's not Sherry's Jubilee leaf though. It's already gone. Yeah. Cotton candy and another green cascade. So, and my sickly looking. Oh, I think I mentioned it. Yeah, summer's gold. All right, that's the yard. Let's just go. I can't get enough of this view because I got the reds and the greens and the blue greens of the cedar and the nice pot laying back there by itself. Accent with garbage. You got your Red Dawn and your Grandma Ghost and your green cascade getting a little yellow, and then you can see, if you look a little further, you can see the red of the Bloodgood, and then the oranges and yellows of the Hogyoku and the Winter Flame, and this is a pretty area right here. All right, that's enough for me. Hope you enjoyed seeing my maples. Take care.